Okay, so chapter 11, okay, looks at how we are an organization is going to manage new products. Okay, how you are going to manage and how you are going to develop. So as for now, the first 10 chapters, we have thought about the products, we have thought about the innovation of the products. Okay, and by now, by chapter 11, we have determined that these are the products that we are going to develop. Okay, these are the products that can be marketable. These are the products that can be useful for the organization and the general public lah. Okay, so now when we develop products, when we develop new services, we need to develop it in a certain, using a certain process, using a certain method, and these methods has to be very much in accordance to certain criteria, certain outcomes, and certain flow. Okay, so in the business organization, the usual process model which is being used is the basic waterfall model. Okay, so Cisco, for example, Cisco, an IT company, used a waterfall model to develop its software products. Okay, so in a waterfall model is a very simple model where you design, you build, and you test your products. Okay, you design, you build, and test, and also you can also do it in an agile manner. Okay, in a waterfall model, each phase needs to go through until the end. That means if you're doing the design, you have to design the product until the end. You're building it, you're testing it, you're releasing it. It has to be done until the end. You cannot do a process you cannot do it concurrently. It has to finish and then you do it. So let's say you are designing a product, a service. Okay, so you have to make sure everyone in the group finish designing dulu, and then baru you start building the product. Base building, and then baru you got testing, and then you will release the product to the market. However, over time, Cisco has now come up with a new method, or has adopted a new method, which is called the agile method, meaning everything is done in much more faster manner. If the waterfall model punya production development takes about 10 months, in a agile manner, it takes only about 4 months, half the time, 4 to 5 months, because everything is being done very fast, and it can be done concurrently. That means they will break the product or service into several modules, and each module uh, will be done in a very fast. That means they will do a design, build, release, design, build, testing, design, build, testing. Everyone will do the same thing, but in different modules. Okay. So when we are dealing with agile, when we are dealing with waterfall model, we need to know who is our product owner, who is going to represent the customer, who is our customer, who is our customers, and what are our customers' profile, and what is the user, the stories behind our customers. Are they from B40? Are they from B20? Are they from T20? And also on and so forth. Okay, and who is our team? Okay, who is our team members? What are they doing? So we need to look at all this before, in the process of designing the product or services. Okay, why do I say services? Because some companies, they not only they produce, or they provide only services. Their product, their development is service. They are not providing hardware ke software ke. No, they are providing service. Okay, example of service, maybe they are helping, if they for example, maybe they are doing repair works. Those are services. So again, when they do anything, they need to follow through a actual process. All right, so when we do agile development, as I mentioned just now, every product needs to be in a certain function, certain module, or what we say as a modular. Okay, meaning to say it has to be in several functions. That means, for example, you're designing a mobile app. Mobile app ini ada 4 function. Function A, B, C, D. So, function A, okay, group ni buat. Function B, group ni buat. Function C, group ni buat. Function D, group ni buat. Okay, semua buat lain-lain. Okay, semua buat lain-lain. And bila dah habis, join sekali. Alright, so before we continue, we need to understand this stage gate process and parallel development process. So we are going to cover this in the later slides. Okay, we are going to cover this in later slides. So you need to understand what are some advantages and disadvantages using Agile development. Okay, that's easy to understand. And what is stage gate process? We're going to cover it shortly, and parallel development process. We're going to cover that shortly as well. Okay. Kenapa saya rasa chapter ni dah cover semalam? Tapi tak apalah. Maybe I read this twice. Okay. More than 95% of the new product development project fails to earn economic return. Okay. So based on study, it says that 95% of the new product development fails to earn an economic return. Why? Because it might take too long. You dah develop panjang-panjang. Let's say you develop a product for about a year, and then bila you masuk market does not want to use that anymore. That means you have missed the trend. Let's say now the trend is to use mobile apps, to use QR codes. So your company wants to develop something using QR code. So you develop a new product using QR code, but you take about 10 to 12 months. So by the time your product is up, it's good, it's not relevant for the market anymore. Or maybe your idea has been done somewhere else. Okay, macam sekarang ni, most of the restaurants now use QR code for their menu. So you masuk, you put on your phone, you scan the QR code, and you order. You see your menu, and then you order, and automatically it goes to the kitchen. Okay, let's say your company wants to design and develop this kind of application, but it takes so long. So it takes about 10 months. By the time you develop and you test and you implement this this system might not be relevant anymore. Okay, it might not be relevant anymore, or it might be outdated, or it might be not in use, or maybe there are cheaper versions of this kind of software. So that's why they say 95% of the new product development projects fail to earn economic return. All right, simply because of so many reasons. One, no proper planning, timing is not right, or maybe the actual study is not right. Okay, so many possibilities. All right, so in the early part of development process in US, most companies use sequential new product development. That means everything is done in sequence. This is almost similar to Waterfall Model. You identify your opportunities, then habis je, habis je this term, masuk konsep, habis je, masuk design, habis je, masuk process design, and you commission. As you can see here, each phase needs to be completed on time, and then only the new process is being done. Completed and then done. Completed and then done. But soon after, they found out that why not we do partly parallel development. Partly parallel development. Meaning, sebelum ini habis, they start the new phase. Sebelum ini habis, they start the new phase. Sebelum ini habis, they start the new phase. Sebelum ini habis, mungkin they start the new phase. Okay? So parallel development process is a situation whereby before the end of the current process, the new process can be done. Okay, so you do not have to wait for the current process to finish. You can just start on a new process. Okay, that is partly parallel development process. Tak habis ini, you dah masuk satu lagi. Tak habis makan, you dah tambah lauk. Something like that lah. Okay, so in partly parallel development process, as you can see, the time here is much more shorter than the sequential process. Simply because sequence dia kena habis satu, baru start the next one. In partly parallel, sebelum habis satu, you can start on the next one. Okay, you can start on the next one. Maybe let's say you have four modules. So you dah siapkan dah module number one. So module number one can start being designed, can start being developed. You don't have to wait for module 3 and 4. Okay, you dah tahu module 1 is just the interface design. You can go on and start that. Okay, you can go on and start that. Okay, so things is done much more faster in partly parallel development process. Okay, next we also use the term called champions. What are champions? Champions are those people who will be leading your process. Will be leading your product development. He's an employee that is dedicated to improving a certain area within the company. Okay, that means he or she might be the head of the project, or might be those people or a person who gives ideas, who fights for the project. He or she ni may be or may not be the project manager, tapi dia lah yang membawa idea tu ke depan. Okay, brings that brings that vision in front. For example, Elon Musk, he is a champion, tapi is he the project manager for all his projects? No, but he is the one who gives those project managers ideas, who gives the companies ideas, who sets the benchmark. Okay, we need to achieve this. But who handles this project are all those senior managers. But actually he is the champion. So dalam kalau macam university, the VC is the champion lah, because he foresees everything. He brings in the idea, he brings in the VC, the vision. But everyone else runs according to this mission. But he puts in the idea for you. He plants in the idea for you. So to grow on each idea is the senior managers or people like this lah. Okay, so benefiting of a champion. Okay, so you have a higher power. So the senior managers they have higher access to resources. They can communicate with multiple areas of the firm. That means, because he is the top, he can tell, okay, now in this project we need to have support from department A, B, C, D. So semua orang akan ikut. But if the normal person tries to get support, susah sikit. But if the champion tries to get, then much more easier. But you have to also look at the disadvantage. When you become a champion, then you also risk of having other people not able to talk to you. I mean, people are already scared with you because you are always giving out the ideas, you are always giving out the information, you are always putting out the innovation ideas. So people might be afraid of you. So that, and you might lose the concept of the product or the concept of the ideas. So this is also a problem as well. So in the 1970s, two companies were trying to make the ulcer drugs, and one of them succeeded over the others. So the next company, which was the Glaxo company, they introduced something new, which is the parallel process in developing. And next, after that, they became the number one drug company. And because of the finance director who was championing the project became very successful, and soon later, this finance manager became the chairman of the company. So what this story is telling us, that in order for a person to champion a product, he or she does not need to have that actual background. But if the champion has an idea, has a vision on that product, then you can also be the champion. Let's say your company is developing a mobile apps, a new system. Okay, he or she need not have any basic idea about mobile apps, developing the programming. No, but he or she has a vision What can it do? You want this thing to do this. You have ideas. So project managers will implement those ideas. Steve Jobs had ideas. He did not have ideas macam tablet, kita nak tablet. No, he had ideas only. He had ideas. And his main ideas was, yang paling penting sekali, dia kata, we do not bring technology to people, we bring technology, we bring people to technology. Very important. So he puts the idea. He says, we do not bring technology to people. Dia terbalikkan, dia kata, we bring people to technology. So what he's trying to say is, kita takkan bawa, we don't bring the technology to them. We don't tell people, okay, this is how you do it, no. This is how you should do it, no. He goes to people and asks them, okay, this is what do you need? What do you need? And then we will try to perform. This is a champion. Okay. And next we have 5 myths lah. When you are talking about champion. A project with champions are more likely to be successful. Champions will get involved because they are excited, betul. Myth number 3, champions are more likely to be involved in radical innovation changes, betul. You can see about Elon Musk. Champions are more likely to be from high or low levels in firms, betul. And champions are more likely to be from marketing. Yes, pandai cakap lah, pandai jual. Okay, because they have the ability to sell the products, so they have the ability to orang kata goreng lah, okay, about the product or services. And then we should also involve customers whenever we do a development process. How do you involve customers? Maybe you can provide some survey, you can provide, you can do something on social media, okay, or you can choose your lead users. That means you come up with a product, you ask this group of people to test your system. You keluarkan motor, for example, okay, you minta group ini untuk test motor you. You keluarkan helmet motor, okay, you ask this group of people to try your helmets, okay. So this is how you have lead users, okay, lead users, okay. And then you can also do crowdsourcing. You get a group of people publicly and you ask them to contribute ideas or reviews about this particular product, okay. This is quite normal when you introduce customers in your business. For example, these days, new restaurants, when they start, they give discounts for those people who have come, and they ask you to review their restaurant in Google. And if you do a review, either good or bad, they give you a discount on your next visit. Okay, so they use customers upfront as well. Okay, because they want to see what is the feedback. So by giving customer something in return, so you get a proper feedback. Okay, so that you involve customers review. Okay, these are some stories of how companies used to use lead users to develop new pipe hangers. Okay, they use customers each phase. Okay, you can see in point number 3, 4. Okay, so each customers or several customers were put in different types of phases. Okay, so you can also do that in your organization, your company. You can put customers where in different types of phases. That means you don't have to put customer only at the final state. You can also put customers at any part of the state process. And you can also involve your suppliers, because suppliers are one of the most important partners in your development process, because of them you get something, or maybe because of their ideas, their input, you are able to reduce your cost, you are able to increase your development process. Okay, so this is very important to include your suppliers. All right, now we come into stage gate process. Stage gate process is almost similar but different from the agile process. The main difference of stage gate is it attempts to control uncertainty upfront. and to avoid later changes. Agile, on the other hand, seeks to adapt uncertainty and accommodate changes for a longer proportion of the development process. Okay, so what it does is, in Agile, saya explain Agile dulu. In Agile, let's say we are developing a product or service. Okay, so we do it in an agile manner. Agile manner means that every 2 days or 1 day, you meet the team and you meet the customer. Let's say today you meet the customer, tanya customer nak apa sebenarnya, you get the requirements. Malam you juga balik, you discuss within your team members. Okay, this is what the customer meant. Tomorrow you start developing. Tomorrow evening jumpa customer kata yes, this is what I want. Alright, the next thing. So you balik, you buat benda lain. Then third day you go back and see the customer. Is this what you want? No, this is not what I want. Okay, go and do that. Go and do that sampai habis. That is agile. In a stage gate, it attempts to control uncertainties upfront to avoid later. So what they do is they come back, they discuss, and then they go back and see the customers. If it's not right, they stop immediately and they make sure it's right. They will not move until the next process. In Agile, yes, even though it's not right, they will repair it, but they will still move on. They will still move to the next stage. In stage gate process, they will continue that process until it is right, and then they go. If it's not right, they will kill and return back. If it's too risky, they will kill and stop forever. Okay, so in a stage gate process, they will try to clear the uncertainty upfront. Clear whatever is uncertain, they will try to clear it upfront. If it's clear, then they will proceed. Else they will stop. That is stage gate process. If in Agile, they will try to clear it if possible. If it's not possible, they will continue and they will still try to solve it. Or maybe they will take the process or take the uncertainty and solve it at the end of the cycle. So there could be two ways in Agile. In a stage gate, they will solve it until they solve it. Only then they will continue. In the Agile process, they will not continue. They will continue, and maybe at the end of it, try to solve everything together. That is the main process. So, which is faster? Obviously, Agile is faster. Which is slower? Stage gate is slower. Which is better? Depending on the product, stage gate is better because all uncertainties are cleared off before they continue. Agile process, there is always uncertainty. Memang akan ada all the time because you have not cleared it. You're not cleared it. Or maybe you bring forward, tak apa, ini benda ni kecil je, we bring forward. Right? Alright. So tools, the time and cost for project escalates within stage gate process only permits a project to proceed if all assessment indicate success. So each time they will check, okay, if it's indicated other can do success, then only they continue. Okay, so they will look mungkin dari segi idea, dari segi market research, dari segi testing. If everything that is profitable, only then they will continue. Right? So this is basically how a stage gate process would look like. Each time they do one stage, they will go through a discussion. Hit here. If it's okay, move on. If it's okay, move on. If it's okay, move on. If this is not okay, they will stop. They will stop here. Okay, they will stop here. Or maybe they will continue. They will make up until it's cleaned up. If there is no way of cleaning up, then they will stop immediately. Nearly 60% of firms use some type of stage gate process to manage their new product development. Yes, this is true. 60%. Because some products need to go through proper stage gate process. For example, if you are working in Proton, then you need to go through stage gate process because you're dealing with human lives. Kalau kereta tu tak betul, you develop in such that it's very fast. The kereta tu tak betul, lives can be lost. So in the stage gate process, they must cover everything. But we cannot say that stage gate process is is good for all kinds of product. They might be good for certain kinds of product, but not all kinds of not all. Okay, especially when you're dealing with human lives, then a stage gate process, development process is way much better than the agile, what do you say, agile development process. Okay, so this is also another issues that we need to look at. Quality function deployment, QFD. What QFD does is, this is just a structured way of defining requirements and translating these requirements and assigning them to specific departments or plan or devising plans. All right. For example, here the customer has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 requirements. So the customer says, I want the product to be easy to open. I want stays open on hill, does not leak, isolate occupant from road noise, crash protection. These are the customer's requirement. All right. However, in order for you to solve this requirement, you need inputs or you need the help from other departments as well. So maybe you need 15 people or 15 inputs from this department, this department, this one. That's why you have a quality function deployment. Okay, who is going to handle this? Which department is going to handle this? Okay, which department is going to handle this? So you need, because customers' requirement is only one, but you have to manage and you have to specify which department will also help in this customer development. So these are some steps in developing QFD. Point number 4, team correlates between different engineering attributes. Okay, that means you have different attributes from one customer. So who do you assign it to? Which department do you assign it to? So this is very important as well. And you are also looking at design for manufacturing. Okay, once you have finished all the development, the issues of designing, now you want to design the actual product, so you can use certain rules that but most importantly, you want to reduce the cost and development time, because designing can take up a lot of time, but on the other hand, you want to reduce its time and to increase quality. So we can use things like FMEA, failure modes on effective analysis, where your company will do a failure plan, a criteria failure plan, to detect if this system will crash, this system will not work, and to see how severe would this be. Okay, if these problems were to happen. Okay, so this failure mode effective analysis is normally done by customers, like the lead users. Yang tadi saya explain to lead users, they will do this survey for the companies. Okay, and then to design any product, we can also use this kind of softwares, computer-aided manufacturing, computer-aided design. Okay, this will increase the quality and this will reduce the development time. Like in this example, the American company spent about 50,000 on prototypes, whereas the New Zealand team spent less than that just by using softwares, computer-aided design. So they were able to reduce their costs, reduce their time, and to deliver the same product, but in a way cheaper and less time. All right. Okay, I think this is all for chapter 10. Okay, this is not too much here. All right. So this is about managing. Sorry, this is about managing the new product development process. Okay, chapter 10, chapter 11. Okay, do you have any questions so far? Okay. All right. Let's just stop for about 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Yes. Mana tadi Hafiz?
Betul. Just nak tanya balik kan.
Yep.
Saya tengok balik yang tadi kita discuss balik pasal apa tu, kita punya presentation tu kan.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okey, saya nak confirmkan semula. Takut saya pelupa kadang-kadang. Kan?
Yeah.
Yang pertama sekali, kita present berkenaan dengan case study kita tu yang kita pilih, betul?
Correct.
Okay. Dan proposal pun melibatkan case study tu juga, report tu.
Correct.
So, saya nak reconfirm, takut ada case study yang lain yang sebelum present lain yang takut saya terlepas pandangan.
So you present, maksudnya group award, let's say your group chooses one of the case studies. Okay. So your report is obviously pasal case study itulah. Alright. And you present about the case study juga lah. Okay, you present about the case study. But if you want to include some examples, mungkin case study itu berkait dengan example yang current examples, which is not mentioned dalam PDF file yang saya bagi tu, boleh lah, tak ada masalah. Boleh je, no problem. You can say, for example, let's say it's about something relating to the current situation juga. Maybe that problem is related to, memang ada satu company now and going through the same problem or has gone through the same problem, you can relate, tak ada masalah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, alright. Let's take a break and we start back at 10 o'clock. Boleh?
Boleh, Doktor.
Okay, so we have now finished chapter 11 and we'll just do one more chapter for today. Itu saja. Okay?
Okay, Doktor.
Okay. I see you at 10.